Let's see if there's anything in chat right now. So let's begin. All right, very good. Let's move on. So first of all, we need to start with the daily habits. So in Portuguese, that's how we call them. Os hábitos do dia a dia. So daily habits. And just a reminder, I'm going to say things twice in the stream. So I'm going to say it first in a normal speed, then I'm going to say it a bit slower, and then I'm going to give a little break. So during these breaks, it's when I want you guys to repeat what I just said. So let's do a task here. Os hábitos do dia a dia. First time. Os hábitos do dia a dia. Second time. Now it's your turn. Perfect. And we're going to do this with all the vocabulary and all the verbs, etc. So let's begin. The first habit, the first one you do in the morning is acordar-se, as you see right here. And as you see in the picture, that means to wake up. So let's repeat. Acordar-se. Right. So this verb, actually, this se, you see right here, it's that's a pronoun that turns the verb into a reflexive verb. But so we can say the verb acordar is to wake up. So acordar-se is to wake someone or to wake oneself up, because we can also use the verb acordar for other people. Let's say acordar, so I can wake up someone else, I can wake up my dog, my cat, etc. But we in Brazil commonly use acordar without the se. So you have the two options right there. So you can say acordar or you can say acordar-se. Right. So the next one, as you see, there's a guy brushing their teeth. So escovar os dentes. Escovar os dentes. You guys? Very good. So to brush your teeth. As you see, there is nothing here that says my teeth, because in Portuguese or in Brazil, we don't say brush my teeth. We just say brush the teeth, because it's implied, of course. I'm going to brush my own teeth. It's implied. Então, escovar os dentes means to brush the teeth. Let's move on. All right, the next one. Tomar café da manhã. Tomar café da manhã. You guys? Very good. So that means to have breakfast. As you see, there's a boy and a girl and they're having some hot beverages. I suppose it's coffee and there's some croissants, some stuff on the table. Breakfast. Café da manhã. So in Brazil, breakfast is called the coffee of the morning. So that's why it's called café da manhã, instead of breakfast as you would call in English or in Spanish. The next one. Tomar banho. Tomar banho. And as you see in the picture, there's a man taking a shower. So tomar banho means to take a shower. Note how I use the same verb here, tomar and tomar. They are both verbs. If you don't know how to identify the verbs yet, we're going to see them pretty soon. But tomar actually has two meanings in Portuguese. One of the meanings is to take, tomar, such as tomar café da manhã would be to take breakfast, quote unquote. And tomar banho would be to take a shower. So let's move on. The next one. Trabalhar. Trabalhar. You guys? Right. So trabalhar means to work. As you see, there's a man and a woman. They're wearing suits and they look like they're going to work. Trabalhar is a verb to work. The next one. Assistir televisão. Or assistir TV. As you see here, I can use either of them. You guys? Great. Então, that means to watch TV. Assistir is the verb right here. It has two meanings. The most common one is to watch. As you see, watch TV, assistir televisão. But there's also the second meaning That's not very used in Portuguese, but it can be, which means to assist, just like you would say in English. So assistir means to watch or to assist. In this case, it's to watch, of course. Okay, let's move on. The next one, and if you're as old as I am right now, you know who this character is and you know exactly what movie this is. So this is Goofy, and it's a very famous movie of his, which is he's a driver and he becomes a maniac when he turns into the wheel. But anyways, dirigir means to drive. Dirigir, you guys. Very good. Dirigir also has a second meaning. So it can be to drive in this case, or it can also be to direct, like a director in a movie, for example. Right? But dirigir is most commonly known as to drive. The next verb, or the next couple of verbs rather. So, pegar ônibus or apanhar ônibus. So let me do it again. Pegar ônibus, apanhar ônibus. You guys. Yes, so that means, as you see in the picture, to take a bus. So pegar and apanhar, they both mean to take or to catch. So for public transportations, you can use either of them. In some parts of Brazil, pegar is more common. In some other parts, apanhar is more common. But you can choose whatever you prefer. Okay, let's move on. By the way, if you guys have any questions during the explanation, just let me know in the chat because I have here my phone next to me and I can read the chat as well. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, so notice, look at these pictures and you can see they're very similar. You can see families and they're having some kind of meal. Exactly what it is. So in Brazil, we have verbs for to have lunch and to have dinner. So the verb for lunch would be almoçar. Almoçar. Exactly. That means to have lunch. It's a specific verb. And this one, jantar, as you see, it's nighttime and the family's all together having a meal. Jantar means to have dinner. Jantar. You guys. And this is another pronunciation thing. In Brazil, some people would pronounce this R like an H sound, so it would be jantar. The final sound is very soft from your throat, just like h, jantar. But some other people would pronounce it like r, so jantar. For example, in São Paulo, they would say jantar, whereas in Rio, they would say jantar. All right? Okay, moving on. My favorite verb, or my favorite activity rather, beber café. Beber café. You guys? Right. So you probably know what that means already just by looking at the picture. Beber means to drink. So beber café, to drink coffee. And as said right here, let's go back a little. I said right here that the verb tomar has two meanings. The first one is to take, and the second one is to drink. So the verbs tomar, as you see right here, and beber, like this one, they mean both to drink. So I could say tomar café as well. It depends on people again. Some people would say beber, some people would say tomar. It depends on where you come from. And finally, dormir. Dormir, you guys can repeat. So that means to sleep. As you see in the picture, the man sleeping, dormir. Right, very good. So just looking at these pictures, let's take a look at the verbs. I'm going to show you guys the verbs and you will tell me what they all have in common. The verbs in Portuguese, all of them, they have one thing in common. So, acordar, escovar, tomar, again, tomar, trabalhar, assistir, dirigir, pegar, apanhar, almoçar, jantar, beber, and finally, dormir. They all have one thing in common. What is it? Jam. Sim. The verb conduzir also means to drive, but you could conduzir is more common in Portugal, but the verb dirigir is more common in Brazil, but it means the same thing actually. Okay? So conduzir or dirigir, whatever you prefer. Yes, so I wrote the answer in the chat, so they all finish in ar. All of them finish in ar, if you realized. And right here we see os verbos e suas conjugações. Os verbos e suas conjugações. So, the verbs and their conjugations. As I wrote right here, I wrote this one in Portuguese, but let me translate. Três tipos de verbo. Três tipos de verbo. Three kinds of verbs in Portuguese. We have the verbs finished in ar, the verbs finished in and the verbs finished in ir. So, three kinds of verbs: ar, ir. Let's go back once more, just to take a look. Let's see. Finishes in ar, 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 ir, ir again, ar, ir, and ir. It's just a coincidence. Most of the verbs finished in ar here, but it's just a coincidence, really. It's not like the verbs have to finish in ar. Yeah, so let's take a look at them. And it's one of the most difficult things in Portuguese is the conjugation of a verb. Because in Portuguese, for example, if you take the verb drink, the verb to drink, then it only has two conjugations in the present tense. The conjugation like or drink, and the conjugation drinks for he, she, or it. So only two conjugations. In Portuguese, we have four. And how are they separated? We have one conjugation for me, for in Portuguese we say eu. One conjugation for the second and third person, so você, which is you, ele, which is he, and ela, which is she. They all have the same conjugation. One more conjugation, the third one, is for nós, which is we, and the last conjugation is for eles, elas, and vocês, so the second and third persons of the plural. Let's take a look then. First, let's take the verb escovar. It's one of the verbs with ar, one of the verbs that you can see up there in the examples, to brush. So, as I said before, we have the conjugations here on the left-hand side. Eu, I, ele, he, but wherever I wrote ele, we can also say ela, or we can also say você. I just didn't put it here because it would be badly, well, diagrammed anyway. One more for nós, and the other one for the plural. So where you see ele, here you see eles. Also, you would say ela, and here we'd say elas. And right here, você, then we would say vocês. So everything in the plural. So Matt just came in the chat saying a gente. So a gente, Matt, also means nós, but that's something more informal in Brazil. A gente is put right here next to ele or ela or você. There's also a gente. So let me tell you with examples. We would say eu escovo. So that's how we conjugate the verbs in Portuguese. We need to remove the root. Actually, we have to take the root only, which is everything but this ar, or ir. So the root of the verb escovar would be escov without ar, without ar. So we take the root. As you can see, the root is the same. In most of the verbs, it's going to be the same. There are some verbs that the root changes a little bit, only for the first person. But the regular verbs, well, they're regular, so they have the same root. So let's take a look. Eu escovo. So for any verbs finished in ar, for the present tense, we use o. So escovar would be eu escovo. If we take another verb that we can say up there, tomar, we would say, of course, we remove ar, so we have tom left, and we would say eu tomo. That would be the present tense of this verb. So, eu escovo, ele, or ela, or você, or a gente escova. So we use a. Escovo, escova. For nós, we use escovamos. And Matt, only to answer your question, we also say a gente escova. We conjugate like this. So it would be nós, which also means a gente, means we, but nós is conjugated this way, and a gente is conjugated this way with a. And finally, eles, or elas, or vocês, escovam. So I have to use at the end of the verb. Yeah, and this pronunciation of is a nasal pronunciation in Portuguese. So if you guys don't know how to properly actually pronounce the sound of you can check one of my videos I did last week on pronunciation. It's very good, and there I explain how you can pronounce this nasal sound. Right? So for any verbs, that's what you have to memorize. I don't like using the word memorizing, but in this case, that's what you have to do, because I remember back when I was at school, our teachers would give us as homework, they would give us tens of verbs to just conjugate over and over until that's lapidated into our minds, and now it's carved. I can't just forget the conjugations even if I try, because I just tried so much. Yeah, but anyway, let's move on. The second type of verb, beber. So as you see, it finishes in er. That means to drink, beber. So let's take a look. As you see, the conjugations are kind of similar. The first person, eu, is always o. So I also use here for the second kind of verb, o. So right here, eu escovo, and right here, eu bebo. Always o. However, for the second conjugation, ele, for the first kind of verb, we use a escova. For the second kind of verb, we have to use e. So, ele bebe. And one thing, this e at the end of the verbs is pronounced like an I. So we don't say in Brazil, we don't say bebe. In Brazil, we say bebi. So the last sound is not the S sound, it's the E sound. So bebi, right? The next one, the third conjugation, nós bebemos. Right here, we use amos, but for this kind of verbs, we're going to use hemos. So nós bebemos, we drink. And finally, the last conjugation, eles bebem. So here we use escovam, and here we use em, bebem. Right? And as you guys will see very soon, that this third conjugation is very, very similar to the second one. We only change one of the conjugations. So this one would be o and em. Let's take a look at the next one. The verb I took as an example is the verb assistir, which I said before, means to watch or to assist, but more commonly to watch. Let's take a look. As you see, let's just compare the conjugations here and here. So, o, e, hemos, and em. Right here, o. Oops, this is not em. This is a mistake. It should be e only, no em. So, ele assiste. Forget this em right here. The next one, nós assistimos. And the last one, eles assistem. So that would be the only thing that changes is this one actually for nós. Here I have to say hemos and here I have to say imos. That's the only difference. But of course I just took those verbs, but with any regular verbs that would be the same. So beber. Let's take another verb with the conjugation er. Let's say the verb comer, to eat. So that would be the same. Eu como, ele come, nós comemos, eles comem. The same. And right here the verb assistir. Let's take the verb dividir, to divide or to share. So eu divido, ele divide. Notice again how the final sound is not e but i. So divide. Nós dividimos, eles dividem. So it's the same with any regular verbs. And I made sure not to use any irregular verbs here, not to confuse you guys, but this is one of the big problems, that there are lots of irregular verbs, and most of the important verbs are irregular. So it's worth taking a look, especially the verb ir and the verb vir, the verb, let's say, ser, estar, of course. So these are very important verbs and they are irregular, so it's important to take a look at them, right? Okay, so moving on. Now that we already know the verbs, let's move on to the adverbs of frequency. Of course, if we talk about present tense, we have to talk about those guys. So, advérbios de frequência. Advérbios de frequência. Adverbs of frequency. All right? So what do we expect here? We expect always, we expect sometimes, we expect never, and that's how I wrote, exactly what I wrote. As you see here, we can see with the translations. So the most common, whoops, we were right here. Okay, so the most common adverbs of frequency in Portuguese. Sempre, sempre, you guys can repeat. And the translation here, always. Geralmente, geralmente, you guys? Yeah, and the translation is generally. And this is one tip I can give to you. Every time you have an adverb in English that finishes in li, like generally, normally, frequently, you can use these adverbs in Portuguese with mente at the end. So generally will be geralmente. Finally will be finalmente. Frequently will be frequentemente, and so on. So generally, li in English means mente in Portuguese. All right? So, às vezes, and as you see, there are some asterisks here next to às vezes. It's because of the placement. I'll explain very soon, but às vezes. Às vezes. You guys can repeat? Exactly. As you see here, sometimes. So, às vezes. Let's move on. Raramente. Raramente. You guys can pronounce it? Very good. And as you see, this R and this R, they have different sounds in Portuguese. Do you know why? It's because the first R at the end of the word, sorry, at the beginning of the word, it's always pronounced like H, like an H. So it's ha, and the second R is another case of the R sound. It's between vowels. So it's between two A's. So when the R is between vowels, it's pronounced R. It's this sound, so it's R. So the word is pronounced raramente. Or if I just say it quick, raramente. That means rarely. Right? And finally, we arrived at nunca. Nunca. You guys can repeat? Right. So nunca means never. And so let's talk about the placement. So where do I put these adverbs of frequency in the sentence? So in English, I would put them before the verbs or at the end of the sentence, let's say. And in Portuguese, it's very flexible. You can do it the same way. You can put it at the beginning of the sentence, you can put it before the verb, and you can put it at the end of the sentence. But it's more common to use before the verbs, but it's quite flexible when it comes to positioning. The only exception is às vezes, which I put here in asterisks, because às vezes cannot be used before verbs. It can't. You will see. We can use it at the beginning of the sentence, at the end of the sentence, but not before the verb. Right? So let's move on to some examples. As you see here, exemplos. Let's take a look. So the first example, I'm going to read and then I'm going to give you some time to repeat. Eu sempre escovo os dentes de manhã. Once more. Eu sempre escovo os dentes de manhã. You guys can say it now. Very good. So what does the sentence mean? It means I always brush my teeth in the morning. Eu sempre escovo os dentes de manhã. Right? As I said before, I won't say brush my teeth. I would just say brush the teeth because it's implied. The second one, the second sentence. Geralmente, nós comemos ovos no café da manhã. Once more. Geralmente, nós comemos ovos no café da manhã. And what does that mean? You guys can say it first, then I'm going to translate. Alright, so it means, as I said before, we can use it at the beginning of the sentence. Generally, we eat eggs for breakfast. That's what it is. Geralmente nós comemos ovos no café da manhã. Right? What about the next one? Vocês nunca comem pão de noite? Notice, and this is very important in Portuguese. I'm asking a question. You see the question mark here? So in Portuguese, we don't have auxiliary verbs to ask questions. So if I say, vocês nunca comem pão de noite, but it's an affirmation, it's not a question. I'm just stating that you never eat bread at night. But if I just change only my intonation, that's the only thing that changes in Portuguese for those yes or no questions. Only my voice. Vocês nunca comem pão de noite? Now look how my intonation changed and now it's a question. Do you never eat bread at night? You guys can repeat it. Be very careful with the intonation. It has to be very precise. Alright, very good. So remember that for all yes or no questions, we have to use the voice. We have to change the intonation. Otherwise, the person who's listening to you doesn't know if it's a question or not. Of course, if you see it written on a piece of paper, you can see the question mark, so it's obvious, but otherwise, you can't. The next one. O meu irmão raramente assiste TV. Once more. O meu irmão raramente assiste TV. You guys? Alright, so the meaning is, my brother rarely watches TV. Yeah? And as you see, it's right before the verb is positioned here. Also, nunca is positioned before the verb come. And the last sentence. A Elif e eu comemos sushi às vezes. Once again. A Elif e eu comemos sushi às vezes. You guys can repeat. All right, and what does that mean? Elif's my fiance, by the way. Elif and I eat sushi sometimes. As I said, às vezes is a special case because if I had put às vezes before the verb here, it wouldn't work. It's not correct. So I could have used it at the beginning of the sentence and that would have been fine. Às vezes, a Elif e eu comemos sushi. That's alright. At the end of the sentence, alright, but never before the verb. Only for às vezes. Alright? Cool. And so we talked about the adverbs of frequency. Now let's see some time expressions. Let's take a look at them. As you see, expressões de tempo. Expressões de tempo. Time expressions. So let's take a look. I separated, of course, there are many time expressions, but I separated 3 of them just so we can study for this lesson. But there are many of them. There are tens of them. Let's take a look. The first one, de vez em quando. Once again, de vez em quando. Now, you guys. All right. So it means every now and then, as you see right here. The next one, I just used X because it can be any number. Just keep that in mind. And right here you see vis or vises. So vises is plural then, as you see in translation, a time or times as a translation. If it's once, I'm going to use vis. If it's twice or more, I'm going to use vises, right? And por dia. This expression means X times a day. So let's say, for example, let's say 3 times a day. I would say 3 vezes por dia. You guys can repeat? All right, perfect. So of course I can use, instead of 3 times a day, I could use 3 times a week, 3 times a month, 3 times a year, whatever you prefer. So instead of the word dia, I can also use the word semana, which means week, or mês, which means month, or ano, which means year, your choice. And finally, the last expression will be o tempo todo. O tempo todo. You guys can say it now. Pretty good. That means, as you see, all the time. And the way they're positioned is very common, very similar to how the frequency adverbs are placed. So let's take a look at them. Exemplos. The first one. Eu vou à farmácia de vez em quando. Once more. Eu vou à farmácia de vez em quando. You guys can say it now. All right. Very good. So what does that mean? I go to the pharmacy, to the drugstore every now and then. I chose to put all of them here at the end of the sentence, but some of them would also be placed here at the beginning, no problem. So I could have said, de vez em quando, comma, eu vou à farmácia. That's fine, no problem. The second sentence. Os brasileiros bebem café 3 vezes por dia. Once more. Os brasileiros bebem café 3 vezes por dia. What does that mean? Brazilians drink coffee 3 times a day. You guys can say it now. All right, very good. So as I said again, I put it at the end of the sentence. This one, actually, this expression will be better put here and only here at the end of the sentence. Let's take a look at the next example. A minha família viaja 2 vezes por ano. A minha família viaja 2 vezes por ano. My family travels twice a year. As you see here, I use por dia in the first sentence, but I use por ano on the second sentence. So, you guys, let's read this one right now. All right, very good. A minha família viaja 2 vezes por ano. My family travels twice a year. And the last example, o Paulo vem me visitar o tempo todo. O Paulo vem me visitar o tempo todo. You guys can say it now. Yeah, and the meaning. Paulo comes to visit me all the time. O Paulo vem me visitar o tempo todo. All right, so that's it. Let's just do a very quick review of the actions right here. So I'm just going to read and you guys can read right after me. Acordar-se. Escovar os dentes. Tomar café da manhã. Tomar banho. Trabalhar. Assistir televisão. Or you can also say assistir TV. Very good. Dirigir. To drive. And pegar, apanhar ônibus. Very good. Let's go on. Almoçar, almoçar. The next one. Jantar, jantar. Very good. Beber café, beber café. And finally, dormir, dormir. Very good. Let's take a look at the conjugations once more. Very quickly, I'll just read the verbs and you can repeat. Eu escovo. Ele escova. Nós escovamos. Eles escovam. It's very important to write this on a piece of paper and keep it next to you all the time. This way you can memorize the verbs more efficiently. Of course, and practice as much as you can. The next verb, beber, to drink. Eu bebo. Ele bebe. Nós bebemos. Eles bebem. Very good. And our last type of verb, assistir. Always remember, there is a mistake here, so it's not aim, it's only E, it's only the letter E. So, eu assisto. Ele assiste. Nós assistimos. Eles assistem. Very good. So the adverbs of frequency, let's take a look at them very quickly. Sempre. Geralmente. Às vezes. Raramente. Nunca. Very good. The examples. Eu sempre escovo os dentes de manhã. You guys? Very good. So I always brush my teeth in the morning. Geralmente, nós comemos ovos no café da manhã. You guys? Very good. Vocês nunca comem pão de noite. Remember, you have to change your intonation. It's very important. Your turn. Very good. O meu irmão raramente assiste TV. And the last one. Ailif e eu comemos sushi às vezes. Very good. Let's take a look at the time expressions once more. The first one. De vez em quando. You guys? Right. The next one. Let's say 3 again. 3 vezes por dia. You guys? And the last one. O tempo todo. Perfect. The examples. Eu vou à farmácia de vez em quando. Very good. Os brasileiros bebem café 3 vezes por dia. A minha família viaja 2 vezes por ano. O Paulo vem me visitar o tempo todo. All right, very good. So this is a PDF actually I designed specifically for this lesson. And if you guys want the PDFs, you can just get in touch with me. As I said, you can just send a mail to this address right here. So pedro.learnportuguese@gmail.com. And then you can just request the PDF if you want to. Right, so now let's take a look at some exercises because what is a lesson without exercises, right? Let's take a look right here. So, I wrote. Meu nome é Pedro e esse é o meu dia a dia. So, my name is Pedro and this is my dia a dia, means it's my day by day. In other words, my routine, right? So, dia a dia is a routine. So, I wrote a little paragraph here, and this paragraph has some mistakes, 7 mistakes to be more precise. First, we're just going to read the paragraph all together and then we're going to start finding the mistakes. You guys ready? So I'm going to read one sentence and I'll give you guys some time to repeat the sentence after me. So let's begin. Eu sempre acordo cedo de manhã. Lava o rosto e escova os dentes. Depois, vou para a cozinha e fervo água para fazer café. Eu sempre como uma tigela de aveia com iogurte. Cozinho 2 ovos e tome uma xícara grande de café no café da manhã. Very good. I know it's a little long, so if you just want, you can just pause the transmission right now and you can just repeat. You don't have to follow my rhythm. A minha noiva preferem comer sanduíche de queijo e salami. De quando em vez, eu pego ônibus para ir ao trabalho, porque gosto de caminhar. Let me change this part for something else. Let me change for prefiro, it's better. So again, de quando em vez, eu pego ônibus para ir ao trabalho, porque prefiro caminhar. You'll understand why I changed it. Eu nunca apanho o metrô porque é sempre muito lotado. Eu às vezes passo o dia inteiro no trabalho. And finally, eu jogo futebol 3 vezes por semana. Very good. Now let's translate. So the first sentence right here. Eu sempre acordo cedo de manhã, lavo o rosto e escovo os dentes. So this sentence. I always wake up early in the morning, wash my face and brush my teeth. Depois, vou para a cozinha e fervo água para fazer café. So then, I go to the kitchen and boil some water to make coffee. Eu sempre como uma tigela de aveia com iogurte. So I always eat a bowl with oatmeal and yogurt. Cozinho 2 ovos e tomo uma xícara grande de café no café da manhã. So I eat this bowl with oatmeal and yogurt and I boil 2 eggs and drink a big glass of coffee for breakfast. A minha noiva prefere comer sanduíche de queijo e salame. So my fiancé prefers to eat a salami and cheese sandwich. De quando em vez, eu pego ônibus para ir ao trabalho porque prefiro caminhar. So every now and then, I take a bus to go to work because I prefer to walk. Eu nunca apanho o metrô porque é sempre muito lotado. I never take the subway because it's always very crowded. Eu às vezes passo o dia inteiro no trabalho. I sometimes spend the whole day at work. And finally, eu jogo futebol 3 vezes por semana. So I play football, soccer, 3 times a week. Alright, so this is the paragraph. So I'll give you some time now. There are 7 mistakes in this paragraph. Mistakes with verbs, mistakes with adverbs, time expressions, with anything we've seen today. So let's take a look. I'll give you some time now. Alright, nobody found anything yet. Let me take a look. I'll give you guys the first one for free. So right here, on the first sentence, eu sempre acordo cedo de manhã. The sentence is fine, but right after that one, take a look at these verbs. The first verb is lavar, to wash. Let me just write the verbs here. So the verb, let's see, the verb lavar means to wash. And again, the verb escovar is to brush. Brush. Right. So these verbs are in the wrong conjugation. So I wouldn't say lava because I'm talking about me. Lava is for the second conjugation, not for the first one. For the first conjugation, we need to use o, always. So it's always lavo o rosto. The same here, the same for this verb escova. Won't be escova, there will be escovo with o because it's the first conjugation. Now it's fine. Let's move on. Depois vou para a cozinha e fervo água para fazer café. This part so far so good. Eu sempre como uma tigela de aveia com iogurte. That's also fine. Cozinho 2 ovos e tome uma xícara grande de café. So in this sentence there is one verb that's wrong. this verb here. The verb is tomar. So to take or to drink. Alright, we got one here. Não preferem should be prefere. That's it, very good. J-A-L. That's one of them. Right here. A minha noiva preferem. That wouldn't be prefere. That would be prefere. Very good, I. Because preferem is plural. So as I was saying here, tome does not exist because the verb is tomar. So the conjugation is toma. Uma xícara grande de café no café da manhã. That's fine now. The next one, like JAL pointed out, it wouldn't be preferem, that would be prefere, right? Because it's singular. Comer sanduíche de queijo e salami, that's fine. De quando em vez eu pego ônibus para ir ao trabalho. Right here, there is a problem in the sentence. Well done, JAL. Parabéns. So the problem is the expression here. The expression is not de quando em vez. It's actually the opposite. So I need to change the order of these words. It's the sentence is actually de vez em quando. I put it there on purpose just to confuse you guys. But it's de vez em quando, every now and then. Eu pego ônibus para ir ao trabalho porque prefiro caminhar. That's fine. Eu nunca apanho o metrô porque é sempre muito lotado. That's also fine. And the last sentence. Eu às vezes passo o dia inteiro no trabalho. There is a problem with this sentence. And there is a problem with this sentence. Let's see what it is. Okay, so let's fix this last sentence first. Eu jogo futebol 3 vezes por semana. Remember when I said vez is only if it's once. So it's not vezes, it will be in the plural. So 3 times a week, vezes por semana. And you guys pointed out às vezes should be at the end of the sentence, right? Jam and JAL. Very good. That's it. As I said before, I cannot use às vezes before a verb. So the verb passo right here, I cannot use this one right here. So I have a choice. I can move it to the end of the sentence or to the beginning of the sentence. It's my choice. Let's say I prefer at the beginning of the sentence, just because it's easier for me. So às vezes, eu passo o dia inteiro no trabalho. Now, that's fine. Às vezes eu passo o dia inteiro no trabalho, absolutely. And finally, eu jogo futebol 3 vezes por semana. Now, it's perfect. No more mistakes. Let me just double check. Eu sempre acordo cedo de manhã, lavo o rosto e escovo os dentes. Depois vou para a cozinha e fervo água para fazer café. Eu sempre como uma tigela de aveia com iogurte, cozinho 2 ovos e tomo. Oh, right here. Because I'm talking about myself. I'm sorry. This one I wasn't talking about her, about my fiance. I was talking about myself. So that would be tomo. There was a mistake there still. That's my mistake, actually. Uma xícara de grande de café no café da manhã, that's fine. A minha noiva prefere comer sanduíche de queijo e salami. De vez em quando eu pego ônibus para ir ao trabalho porque prefiro caminhar. Eu nunca apanho o metrô porque é sempre muito lotado. Às vezes eu passo o dia inteiro no trabalho e eu jogo futebol 3 vezes por semana. Perfect. Now it's spotless. Very good. So, I got homework for you guys actually, because also what is a lesson without homework, right? So, my homework is, as you see right here, you will write a paragraph with your daily routine, just like this one I just wrote. You'll write a paragraph being careful with verbs and try to mix it up. Try to use all kinds of verbs and adverbs, time expressions, everything you can imagine. And you guys will send this email to my email address, so to pedro.learnportuguese@gmail.com. with the title, and this is very important. So this should be meu dia, a dia, and in brackets, your name. So an example here, my email will be meu dia, a dia, and in brackets, Pedro. Right? So you guys will send me this email just like that with this title and with a paragraph, and I'm going to I'm going to correct the email and I'll send it back to you in the next couple of days. So if you know anybody who's studying Portuguese, if you know anybody who wants to learn, spread the word. Tell them to send me a mail to get the PDF and to talk about their routines. Tell them to watch this lesson because it's a very important lesson. It's very good, talking about present tense, about habits and routine. So if you know anyone, please spread the lesson. I'd really appreciate if you did. And if you're not following me yet, you can follow my channels on YouTube, Learn Portuguese and Learn Portuguese Official on both Instagram and Facebook. Alright, so the lesson is finished. You guys have your homework. I hope you don't have any questions, but if you do, I'm opening it right now to questions. So if you guys have any questions about this topic or about any other topics, now is the time. Also, I'd like you guys to tell me, I do this live stream with a live lesson. I'm planning to do it every Monday with a different topic. So I'd like you guys to suggest the next topic for me. What do you guys say? Shani Lloyd, thank you. Great lesson. Thank you, my friend. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was good for you. I hope it was clear enough. Don't forget to come back next Monday for another lesson. And spread the word. If you have any friends who want to learn Portuguese as well, please let them know. Past or future tense, please. Alright, so past tense in Portuguese is a tad more complicated because that's difficult to narrow down. Because there are two kinds of past, actually three, but two of them are more common to use in Portuguese. So there's the perfect and the imperfect past tenses. But I guess I could do a lesson on the future tense. Yeah, absolutely. Matt Kidney, the same thing. Past tense, I've struggled with them a lot. I really liked the lesson. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to spread the word as well if you know anyone who wants to learn Portuguese. And past tenses. Alright, so since you guys are asking, I may. So, but the past tense lesson will have to be divided in two pieces because there are two past tenses. So yeah, maybe next Monday I'll do the one of them. I'll do the first past tense. That was a really useful lesson. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome, Elif. You're welcome, maybe. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was good. Now you can finally speak some Portuguese to my mom. Looking forward to the next lessons. Thanks a lot. There will be next lessons. JL, thanks Pedro. Just subscribe. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget to come back next Monday for more. Also, if you don't know yet, I have a podcast. I just started a month ago, so for now I just have 4 episodes, but it's called the Gringo Cast. You can find it on my channel as well. And we have the transcript. So it's pretty good for as a listening exercise. It's a bit more advanced because we mostly speak Portuguese there, but still you can follow the transcript. The episodes are between 20 and 30 minutes, let's say, so it's pretty easy to follow. Let's see if there's anything else. And don't forget to send me a homework as well. Send me a mail with your paragraph, with your routine. All right, so I don't see anything else in the chat. I think I'm gonna call it a day. So don't forget, if you guys want the PDF, just mail the same email address. So you can send me a homework and request a PDF at the same time. I'll be pleased to send you. It will be a pleasure for me. Alright, so I guess it's time to call it a day. Thank you guys very much for watching it. I really appreciate it. I'm not very good with the camera or, I don't know, talking like online lessons like that. It's just me. So if you guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, I'll keep it coming. I'll definitely do more because I love doing this. I love giving these lessons. So Matt Kidney, where in Brazil are you from? I'm from Fortaleza. I don't know if you know that. It's in Ceará. It's kind of close to Recife, kind of close to Bahia. It's just a few hours away. But if you're asking because of my accent, I don't think I have the accent there anymore because I've been living abroad for a while, and I guess I kind of like lost my regional accent. But it's a beautiful city, by the way. Let me just type it here so maybe you can Google it. So it's called Fortaleza. In Brazil, it's kind of like where people spend their holidays because there are lots of like beautiful beaches around my hometown. So most people who live in São Paulo actually go there for holidays. It's a beautiful place, by the way. Let's see if there's anything else. Jem, obrigado pela lição. Jem, my pleasure. I'll see you on Saturday again. Jem's one of my students from Turkey. One of the good ones. I have many friends from Goiás. Goiás is also a very good place, but Goiás is more of how do I put that to you? It's more of like the fields, and it's more with the cattle, so it's a rural kind of area, let's say. But it's beautiful as well. Elif, take me there, definitely, definitely. Next time we go to Brazil, we're going together. Alright, I guess it's time to call it a day then. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Monday at 10 p.m. Istanbul time, 4 p.m. Brazil time. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a very good one. I'll leave the mic open here for the next minutes just to answer any questions that may show up. So I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. E tchau. Até mais. See you around.